Welcome back, B+E
Family! Yo, fam. We are back at beautiful Disneyland, actually California Disney, because we're here to talk about the one, the only
top tips for Oogie Boogie Bash.
Now we're excited just as you are for going back to the Oogie Boogie Bash. Now we're saying going back because we had the privilege to go ahead and do it in the past. So with that said, we got tips from experience and the know-how. Now things are a little bit different this year.
That is true.
So we got to keep that in mind. That, you know, some of the tips here that we have are coming from an expert perspective, but these are the tips whether you've been here for the first time or if we're going for a returning visit. So with that said, let's dive into tip number one. Now, this isn't, of course, no particular order what the top tip is, but this is tip number one to go ahead and know of the event. So ready? Without further ado, Becky?
Arrive 3 hours earlier for Oogie Boogie Bash.
Now, do note the bash in itself kicks off at 6 p.m. You're able to get in at 3 p.m. for the event. Now, the reason why we stress this enough is because the night goes by quick. The night goes super quick.
That is so true. So if you're here earlier, you're able to get in, get the parking, go to the party, and then enjoy the night, fam. So that is why it is crucial for you guys to get here 3 hours ahead of time or earlier if you can.
Exactly. But with that said, let's go on to the next tip.
Tip number 2, you're gonna want to get the map at the entrance of the park, fam. Now this map is gonna be different than the regular map because this map is catered to Oogie Boogie Bash. It's gonna have the immersive trail information, the parades, and where the villains are at.
Ooh, now fam, also don't forget to ask for the show schedule. Now, ideally it would be in the app, but sometimes it's not in the app. So fam, make sure you go ahead and ask a cast member for that before you go ahead and embark on the adventure. All right, fam. So with that said, tip number 3 comes down to this. It's all about the trick-or-treating here for this event. It's awesome.
So
the fact is that, you know, they do provide you a small bag to go ahead and utilize, but fam, carrying up a small bag or bringing your own big bag, you know, you're gonna get tired. So make sure that if you can, save the trick-or-treating to the very end of the night, you know, or get one of those lockers to go ahead and hold your candy. But with that said, let's move on to the next tip.
All right. Tip number 4, do not miss the Villains Grove.
Ooh, located over at the Redwood Trails. Bam. This is one of the best parts of the whole entire event. Reason being, well,
because it's so awesome with spooky noises. Now do note, there is no characters or candy in this trail, but it is so worth it, guys.
Super worth it. Now fam, big tip within the tip. Go when it's like dark, like really dark, so that you get the ambiance, the lights.
Yeah, the full experience, fam.
The spooky stories, fam. The spooky stories. But with that said, let's get on to the next tip. Let's go. All right, fam. Tip number 5 is this. If you happen to go ahead and get yourself the pass for DCA during the day before the Oogie Boogie Bash, you want to go ahead and write on Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout before 2 p.m. because it closes down at 2 p.m. because it gets changed over for what will be
Monsters After Dark. And do note that the whole entire ride closes for 1 whole hour.
Yeah, so you won't be able to get back on until 3 p.m. But it means that you get to explore the new ride where you get to go ahead and see Baby Groot, which is so worth it. So that actually ties into the original tip of get here early, because then you can go ahead and ride the rides, get them out of the way, and just enjoy everything about the park. But then wait, we have more tips.
We have more
tips.
Tip number 6, you're gonna want to take advantage of that photo pass.
Fam. Okay, do not sleep on this because there are special photos that you can go ahead and take with the Halloween theme with characters. It's very cool. It's very worth it. You already paid part of the ticket. You know, you don't want to miss out on it. And of course, this is something you can take advantage of during the day if you get here early enough, and then later in the evening to get those spooktacular photos.
Yeah, make sure you ask for the Disney magic shots because those are really awesome. They put special characters in your photo, so those are really awesome.
I love seeing them. We have plenty of those just from around the park in itself, and definitely worth it every time. But with that said, we still have more tips, and let's get into the next one.
Tip number 7, check the weather.
Now, I know what you're thinking. California has always beautiful weather, and yes, it does. But that means it's sunny and hot.
Or it can rain spontaneously.
Yeah, that happens too. But with that said, you know, that's why it's important, again, with that tip for the lockers, make sure that you bring an umbrella or that your costume is appropriate.
Yes, you don't want to be sweating when it's like 80 degrees outside and you have that like PJ onesie on.
But they're so comfy.
They are cute,
They
though.
are comfy. But with that said, we still have more. We still have, what, a few more tips?
Yeah.
A few more tips, fam. Believe it or not, there are so many things that you don't realize, but it helps your trip so much, so much. And if you find that these tips already helpful, fam, don't forget to hit the like button on this. Subscribe if you haven't for more tips, for more guides, and for more info on Disneyland parks, theme parks, and then much, much more. But with that said, let's get into the next tip.
All right. Tip number 9, fam. Do not miss the projections at Carthay Circle. It gets transformed and it's just amazing, fam. So do not miss seeing the projections there.
The other big tip, and it goes without saying, fam, is stay hydrated. You know, you'll be tempted to have the adult bevies. They're great. You're going to be walking around a lot. You're also in a costume, fam, which you're not used to because it may not be the most appropriate costume. Again, reminder, you know, really pay attention to the weather and the costume, but stay hydrated, my friends. With that said, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, smash the notification bell, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.